Hello, and welcome to BizRun. This is the first video in a video series called Leave and Time Off Management, where we will give you an in-depth view of the module and instruction in BizRun. We encourage you to watch all the videos in order, then go back to rewatch and use as reference the videos that apply to your organization. In this particular video, we will show you how to set up company-wide holidays for your organization and how they are accounted for and managed in a particular time period and on a yearly basis. First, let's start out by taking a look at how holidays are set up in BizRun. As a system or time and attendance administrator, you can set them up by going to Settings, Time and Attendance, then Time Off Holidays. From here, click the Add New button. For the holiday field, you can type in the name of the holiday observed. As an example, we're going to type in New Year's Day. Specify the date by selecting the specific day on the calendar. For hours, specify the number of hours given on that particular day. If your organization's typical workday is 8 hours, type in 8 for a whole day. If time off for the holiday is only given as a partial day, then type in the appropriate amount of hours. For example, you can type in 2 if your employees are allowed to leave 2 hours early for that holiday. After that, click Submit. Follow this process until all the holidays for your organization that you plan to observe in the future have been entered. The holiday will then show on the list. If needed, you can click the X to delete the holiday from the list, or click the pencil or edit icon to edit the information for a particular holiday. Here are some tips to remember for holidays. Time off holidays may have already been set up for your organization during implementation. If they were only set up for a few years out in the future. This leads into the second tip. As you approach a holiday, and especially at the end of any calendar year, it is good practice to check that the upcoming holidays are on the list. If they aren't, please be sure to add them accordingly, especially at year-end for the following calendar year. After all has been entered, here's what your holiday list could look like for any given year. We recommend that you do not reuse holidays from a previous year for the next. It's a good practice to simply add new holiday entries for the future, so your time and attendance reports will always show accurate and reliable information. Speaking of time and attendance reports, now that all the holidays are set up, let's run a time and attendance report on an employee in this fictional company. A time and attendance report will show hours worked, time off taken, or in this case, any holidays observed for a designated time period. So, we're running this for Nancy for the time period between December 27, 2020 and January 2nd, 2021. After clicking the Run Report button, the report is processed. From here, you can see that Nancy worked the Monday through Thursday before New Year's. For the New Year's Day holiday, which is on a Friday, the report shows 8 hours for the holiday, and the name of the holiday, New Year's Day, for activity, just as it was entered in Settings. If your organization uses the timekeeping module in BizRun, you and your employees can see holidays show up in the time register if you drill down and show details on a particular day. As you can see in Nancy's example, the holiday hours are tallied up along with the hours worked for a given time period. If needed, employees can still enter or clock in time even though holidays are designated on a particular day. So if Nancy worked a couple hours on New Year's Day, she could enter time like she normally would, and the hours will be tallied up for that day and will show up in all other reports accordingly. Another report that displays details for holidays is the payroll report. As a payroll or system administrator, you can run the payroll report by going to Reports, Time and Attendance, then Payroll Report. From here, let's run it for Nancy only by clicking on the Search for a Person option, typing in her name, then entering 0 for levels of subordinates. We'll select the appropriate start and end dates, then click the Run Report button. The results will display in 3 different tabs: Hours, Activity, and approval status. We're going to focus on the first two. Hours will show that Nancy worked a total of 32 regular hours. This column shows how many hours were designated for the holiday. In this case, 8 for New Year's Day. Activity will give you more details on the time worked, shown here as work, and paid for the 32 hours worked. Again, the holiday New Year's Day shows here, along with the total hours by activity. However, it will not show a holiday as being paid or unpaid. That is up to your organization's policy or your payroll administrator to decide. Here's another tip to keep in mind for holidays. Time off holidays should only be entered for times when your entire organization will observe them, or perhaps when the company is closed. If some of your people observe them while others don't, you may want to use the floating holidays time off type in conjunction with the request time off feature to manage those. We'll go over time off types and the request time off transaction in a later video. Be sure to check out our next video in the Leave and Time Off Management instructional series. And that's how you set up and manage holidays in BizRun. Hope this helps. Thank you for watching.